Luka's introduced as a Laker, and he plays his first game as a Laker, and everybody who comes to the game gets a Luka Doncic Laker keepsake, and LeBron James is calling Luka up to say, how are we going to handle this? We'll handle it how you want to handle it. That's the way that this is getting rolled out in Los Angeles. Meanwhile, in Dallas, Anthony Davis is already hurt, and fans are getting kicked out for bringing signs and T-shirts to the game, and there's protests. It's kind of like the exact opposite in Dallas of the hunky-dory Hollywood stuff going on.
And
Dave.
and quite frankly, Rich, there's no end to that story in sight for Dallas. I mean, there's going to be game after game after game, and if they don't have Anthony Davis on the court, and obviously Daniel Gafford went out with a knee tweak the other night. They've been missing Derek Lively. It's going to be tough for them to compete in the Western Conference. So as the losses pile up, it could get even uglier. And then you throw in the fact that they have a game on February 25th against the Lakers in LA, and then a game April 9th in Dallas will be Luka's return game. I mean, those are be the type of events harkening back to 2010 when LeBron returned to Cleveland with the Miami Heat, and there were things being hurled at the court when he was going through warmups. It's a rough situation. The only way I see the Mavericks being able to get out of it is to win, and to win big. But in the moment, that's obviously going to be difficult with Anthony Davis estimated to miss at least a couple weeks with the abdominal strain that he's dealing with.
And the Fire Nico signs that got people kicked out, that is the Mavericks' prerogative. They can do that sort of thing. The league is going to be copacetic with what's going down in the Metroplex, Dave?
It's a great point. I mean, there was a video that I watched this morning of a fan who was recording with his phone as security approached him, and he repeatedly said that, "Hey, I haven't violated any of the stipulations or the codes of the arena. What am I being kicked out for?" And I watched maybe 2.5 minutes of the 4-minute video. He wasn't provided an explanation. It was, "You got to go, sir. Come with us, sir." That can't sustain. That should not be the way things work in pro sports. Paying a ticket should give you the right to voice your displeasure if that is the case. We saw for years Saints fans wearing brown paper bags over their heads because they were so displeased with the product on the field. Should that have been grounds for dismissal? Of course not. So I do think there has to be some latitude for the Mavs fans who are going through it right now and want to express their frustration in a manner that doesn't involve curse words and doesn't involve threats. Booing should be allowed in sports.
Well, I guess it's happening during Mavericks free throws and things like that, to the point where Cuban felt the need to step in, and he got verbally, harassed in a way, is a way to put it. And I mean, that Cuban is now getting crap for. I mean, what do you have to do with that? Did you see the video of him with Bill Gates over the weekend, Dave? Did you see that? Did you guys see that too? Where he asked Bill Gates in a one-on-one, he's interviewing Bill Gates, and he asked Bill Gates, what if after you were done with Microsoft, you saw Steve Ballmer cough up, the rights to the Red Hot service on your platform for something a little bit older? What would you have done?
And he actually said, "What if you traded Windows 11 for Windows 10?"
So right. I should have let you do it. Yeah. Right. But that gives you an insight as to what Cuban is feeling too, right? I mean, it's just crazy what's happening in Dallas.
Cuban was not involved with this trade whatsoever. He's an advisor to the team now, no longer the majority owner. And you best believe that had he had any say in the decision-making process here, he would have voiced the strong opinion that this was a terrible idea in both a basketball sense and a business sense. I think Dirk Nowitzki's presence at Crypto.com Arena last night was as much a show of support for Luka Doncic as distancing himself from the Dallas Mavericks and their decision in this trade in particular. I'm not saying that Dirk isn't a Maverick for life. He has a statue outside the arena. He's the greatest guy ever to put on a Mavericks uniform. At the same time, I viewed that as, yes, I'm supporting Luka, but also, hey, I'm not with you, Mavericks, on this move.
Catch the Rich Eisen Show every single day on the Roku channel, 12 to 3 Eastern, for free.